Yet another 16-year-old has come forward and exposed James Charles once again for sending him inappropriate photos on Snapchat. Pretty sure this is like the 25th person now that's come forward and exposed James Charles. So this person is not 16 anymore. I think they're an adult. I'm not quite sure. But they recently exposed James Charles because, you know, he's got this new palette coming out.
Thank you for your service, but it's time to move on to something new. This is the basic canvas, the first ever palette from my brand, Painted.
And everyone seems to forget about everything that he's done because it's been quite some time since those allegations surfaced. You know, James got cancelled, but now all of a sudden he's out here hanging out with all your favorite influencers. I'm not even kidding. I saw him on TikTok hanging out with HRH Collection. I was like, girl, no. Why? What the fuck? Not just that, but like there's other people that hang out with people who still affiliate with him. Like Manny MUA affiliates with him, and Spill Sesh has been hanging out with Manny MUA for years. And it's just like, what's real and what isn't at this point? Like, who are we following at this point that's supporting people that support James, or who are literally supporting James Charles? Like, it's just so screwed up if you think about it. It's honestly, it's never going to end as well. Like, people are just like, oh, I'll just ignore it and sweep it under the rug and like film with him and get some clout and stuff. It's like, why would you want to get clout with a man that talks to teenage boys? You know, one of the boys that James Charles talked to was like 14, apparently. Anyway, this guy was 16. The legal age in America is 18. But it's like anyone that's talking to someone under the age of 18, that's so weird anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just so screwed up. So this dude came onto TikTok and had exposed James Charles.
So here we go. November 7th, 2020, 9:24. Age check. You're thinking, could be harmless. He's just asking for my age. And I responded and I said, I'm a very mature 16. So we had like maybe 5 texts back and forth on Instagram. It was age check. I'm a very mature 16.
So basically, to break down this video this TikToker Matthew had made, people were coming for him making this video apparently because they're like, oh, why are you only speaking on this now? Because James is launching his palette next week. And he was like, no, screw James Charles. I have first-hand knowledge on what he's like. He said he told James his age, and then he was like, oh, maybe it's my fault that I was enticing James. Girl, no, you were not enticing him. You were targeted.
But he then proceeded to snap me, and we snapped for a while, didn't really talk much, like whatever. Then I get this snap one day. Now, this is November 24th, 2020, James Charles. I don't know if this was the actual snap. I don't have any screenshots of my snaps, but I opened this snap, and I swear to God, it was a full ass pic.
I feel for these people, honestly. He went on to say no matter what, he was a child and James was 22 at that point. He said James should have stopped the conversation because he knew he was 16 at this point, but apparently James then proceeded to add him on Snapchat after knowing his age. James then proceeded to send him lots of Snapchats after as well. Apparently he sent him a full-on ASS pic, and James pretended to not know what he sent and then pretended like it was an accident, but then blocked him. Disgusting. And yeah, your favorite influencers are still supporting James, so maybe everyone should reconsider who they're following at this point. Also, do people really need James's palette that bad? Like, go and buy one off Jeffree Star.
James, you know he's the biggest piece of shit in the beauty industry.
Wow,
and he
really?
allegedly has done a lot of horrible things. He admitted to talking to minors.
At this point, Jeffree has every color under the sun in terms of palettes. He's got like 1 million high quality good palettes. Or buy from someone else, but for the love of God, how many more victims have to come forward before people start taking this seriously? Another influencer I briefly want to bring up is Rosanna Pansino, because apparently she used to affiliate with Colleen Ballinger, and now she's finally spoken out against Colleen because I think people believe that she was still affiliating with her. Anyway, this is what she'd said on her Twitter. The whole situation, it makes me feel sad and breaks my heart. I'm still processing my feelings. I do believe that the behaviour was inappropriate, mean-spirited, and I no longer communicate with with her. I found out when everyone else did, perhaps even later. When the news broke, I was travelling out of state to finally pick up all the things my dad left for me after he passed away and to help my mum go through more of his belongings. It was emotionally exhausting. I was not online much at all because I was focusing on my own healing with my family. I've not said anything publicly for a few reasons. One, I do not have any new information or insight to add. I never personally witnessed that kind of behaviour, wasn't aware of it, nor did I participate. My memories of our time together were with family and was very wholesome. My nephew adored her son and they loved playing together. Obviously, I don't support or condone the behaviour that was made public. Two, I feel the most important thing in this situation is that the affected people's voices are heard, which I believe they now are. Three, I like to hear both sides when possible. While it's easy to jump onto the side of public opinion, I was hoping for some sort of apology or explanation at some point, which hasn't happened. I hope people come to understand that peer pressuring others to speak on issues before they are ready can be unhealthy. Please be mindful that everyone processes emotions differently and at different speeds. My timeline is not someone else's timeline. I'm learning that I tend to process things slower, and that's okay. So, love Rosanna Pensinas the match, minus the whole Mr. Beast drama, because she doesn't support people like Colleen or James Charles. I mean, I hope she doesn't support James Charles. I don't think she would. If she doesn't support Colleen, she probably doesn't support James Charles. Now, going back to James Charles, he's been in more drama recently to do with his upcoming palette launch. So a while back, James had posted a video to his TikTok talking about how he thinks his old palette he launched with Morphe was hideous, and he promoted that to millions of people and made millions off that palette, so people were shocked to hear this.
Okay, but I think enough time has passed now where we can comfortably say that palette was hideous palette. So, it was ugly, but I am grateful.
And now people are like, oh wow, how can you trust influencers when they're selling us stuff now if they don't even really like what they're selling? Well, since he started getting backlash for that, he responded recently on TikTok Live.
How, when I did my makeup with my friend Lipstick Nick, how I did a palette with Morphe a million years ago that now looking back was ugly. And I think a lot of people are basically using this to be like, influencers are all lying to you. And that is absolutely not the case and so taken out of context, it's ridiculous. Basically, when I was 17 years old, I got asked by Morphe to model for a palette. It was not a collaboration, I was not paid, I literally just had my code James, but it was not my palette. I was literally just the model. Like when you click on the website and you click into a product, you see people's faces, that's all I was doing. It was not mine. And at the time, I thought it was a nice palette. I said yes, I had a great time doing it. It was an incredible opportunity for me as a kid, and I had fun. It was fun. But now, looking back 5 years later, I don't like the palette anymore.
Anyway, what are your thoughts on all this drama? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more juicy tea.